Is the Quran a miracle of miracles? Hello, everyone. It's Cleofe from the Cleofe Podcast YouTube channel. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic. Is the Quran a miracle of miracles? This subject is intriguing for everyone, including non-Muslims, as it offers a unique perspective on Islam and the Quran that might just change your views. One of the great scholars, Sheikh Ahmad Deedat, explored this in one of his videos long ago. Let's take a deep dive to understand what this truly means. Before we continue, please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Over 80% of you watch my videos daily, but haven't subscribed yet. I also want to express my gratitude to everyone who leaves comments. Your support means a lot to me. So, don't leave today without clicking that subscribe button. And if you truly love my channel and videos, hit join button if possible. Now, Jack and Wilson, it's your turn.
Can a book really be a miracle of miracles? It's a huge question.
It really is.
And today we're diving deep into the Holy Quran, looking through the lens of Ahmad Deedat's lecture on this exact topic.
A fascinating perspective.
Our mission really is to understand what makes this text so powerful. Why is it seen as miraculous?
Not just by believers either. That's an important point you raised.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll look at definitions, history, some, surprising aspects of its power.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Let's start with the basics. What is a miracle? Deedat's definition is simple but effective.
Okay.
An impossibility, something beyond human endeavor, human effort.
Beyond what we can normally do.
Right. He gives these vivid examples. Imagine someone collapses, certified dead, gone.
Right here, right now.
And a man of God says, wake up, in God's name, and they just sit up.
That would certainly be impossible by normal standards. A miracle.
Now, what if they've been dead 3 days in the morgue?
Okay. Even more impossible.
Stiff, cold, and someone commands them to arise, and they do. That's a greater miracle, isn't it?
Because the impossibility is greater. Makes sense.
And the ultimate example.
Mm-hmm.
Bones rotted away in the grave, and suddenly they stand up, alive.
Wow. Okay, so the scale of impossibility matters.
Precisely. The greater the impossibility, the greater the miracle. That's the core idea we need to hold on to.
And these miracles, historically speaking, they weren't just random displays of power, were they?
No, not at all.
God granted them, Deedat explains, specifically tailored to the mentality and needs of the people at that time.
That's such a key insight. It wasn't one size fits all.
Relevant to the society the prophet was in.
Exactly. Think about Moses. He appears in Egypt, the land of great magicians.
Masters of illusion.
So his sign, his rod becomes a real serpent, and it swallows their tricks, their illusions.
And the magicians themselves knew the difference.
You did. They confess this is no magic, no hypnotism. They could make sticks look like snakes, but their sticks vanished.
So it wasn't just appearance, it was substance.
They knew it was real, a superior magic, something beyond them. It made them believe.
Okay. And Jesus.
He came among people deeply influenced by, Greek medicine. Very knowledgeable about healing, or so they thought.
So his miracles were related to that?
Yes. Healing the blind from birth, curing lepers, even raising the dead. Astonishing healing powers.
Tailored to the context. I see the pattern.
Which brings us to Prophet Muhammad.
His challenge was different again.
Very different. He emerged among Arabs who were incredibly proud of what?
Their language, their poetry, their eloquence. It was everything to them.
They boasted about having, 100 words for a horse or a sword.
Yeah, they looked down on others linguistically. Called them ajami, dumb, basically.
So in that context, what happens? The Quran is revealed.
With its unparalleled language.
And it beat the people, as Deedat puts it. They heard it and knew instinctively.
Knew this wasn't just human poetry or prose.
It was something else, something beyond.
Yeah.
And that linguistic power itself drew many to the faith immediately.
And it wasn't just Muslims who felt that power. Non-Muslims, too, right?
Absolutely. A.J. Arbery, an English translator.
A respected scholar.
He described hearing the Quran chanted. Said it was like listening to music with this insistent beat of a drum.
Like the beating of his own heart, he said.
Yes. You vibrate on the wavelength of the Quran. Powerful imagery.
And Reverend Bosworth Smith, a Christian missionary.
Even more striking, perhaps. In his book, he calls the Quran a poem, a code of laws, a book of common prayers, and a Bible all in one.
High praise.
And he says it's revered to this day by a sixth of the whole human race as a miracle of purity of style, of wisdom, and of truth.
Wow.
He concludes it's the one miracle claimed by Muhammad, his standing miracle. And then adds,
A miracle indeed.
a miracle indeed. Coming from a Christian missionary, that's quite something.
It really is. But despite this linguistic miracle being so evident, people still asked Muhammad for other signs.
They did. They wanted the spectacular, the physical.
Uh,
Turn that mountain near Mecca into goals for us.
or bring down a book from heaven on a ladder.
Make rivers gush out right here in the desert.
Yeah.
Tangible stuff.
And Allah's response through Muhammad.
It was clear. Signs, miracles are in the hands of my Lord. Muhammad's role was as a warner.
A messenger.
And then the Quran poses that powerful question
Is this not enough for them?
that you rehearse to them, a book which we have revealed to you.
The book is the sign. The Quran itself is the miracle being presented.
And the context makes it even more astonishing. This book came through whom?
An unlearned person.
Muhammad.
Someone everyone in the community knew from childhood. No schooling, no formal training in literacy or rhetoric. Yet he's reciting this incredibly profound, complex text.
So how do skeptics try to explain that away?
Well, the common arguments are, he was just a very clever man, a great orator, maybe.
A deep thinker who just synthesized what was around him.
Exactly. Maybe pick things up from travelers, scholars he might have met. But Deedat counters this. Even if, for argument's sake, you grant that it was Muhammad's own production,
Okay.
then it's definitively a one-man job, one author.
And that's significant when you compare it, say, to the Bible.
Right. The Bible has, 66 books?
By about 40 different authors written over centuries,
And often the physical book is actually smaller than the Quran.
which has 114 chapters, or surahs, presented as from one source via one man.
And despite being from a single source, the Quran is described as
Very, very concentrated stuff, guiding humanity in all aspects of life.
not just stories or laws, but principles, ethics, spirituality.
It covers so much ground, often with such concise, powerful verses. It's dense with meaning.
So moving beyond the language and origin, let's talk about the content, the knowledge within it.
Okay, like what specifically?
Let's start with God's attributes. The Quran gives 99 beautiful names or attributes for Allah.
Plus the name Allah itself makes 100.
Now, think about it. If you ask most people, even learned people, doctors, lawyers, how many attributes can you list for God?
Maybe Father, loving, just, merciful, holy.
You might get a dozen, maybe. But 99, it's comprehensive.
And there's a really striking omission from that list, isn't there?
Yes, the term Father, as in our Father which art in heaven.
Used commonly by Jews and Christians, but absent from the Quran's 99 attributes. Why?
Deedat explains it ties back to how words change meaning, how they can become corrupted or acquire negative baggage.
Like comrade, once meant friends, now tied to communism.
Or gay, which originally meant joyful. Words evolve.
So, Father in heaven, while beautiful,
Became abused, as Deedat puts it, within Christendom. How? By associating it with the idea of a begotten son.
implying a kind of biological procreative process for God.
Exactly. Attributing an almost animal nature, a physical function, to the divine, which goes against the concept of God's absolute uniqueness and transcendence.
And the Quran reacts very, very strongly to that specific idea.
Immensely. Surah Maryam describes suggesting God has a son as utterly abominable.
So terrible that the skies are ready to burst and the earth to split asunder and the mountains to fall down.
It's incredibly powerful language, condemning anything that compromises God's absolute oneness.
Yet there's often a disconnect, right? People read these verses.
Especially the 90% of Muslims who aren't Arabs, they might recite them without grasping the full weight. But even many Arabs who do understand.
Can seem unmoved. Deedat calls it being like the living dead.
It's a stark observation, but Allah's command isn't harsh confrontation.
No, it's invite all to the ways of thy Lord with wisdom, with beautiful preaching.
And reason with them in the ways that are best and most gracious. Dialogue and clear explanation, not aggression.
That connects to an anecdote you shared about asking Christians what begotten, not made means.
Yes, often met with vagueness, until one American was very direct.
What did he say?
He explained it as sired by God.
Sired, like in animal breeding.
Precisely. The term used in animal husbandry for pedigrees, horses, cows, and that immediately highlighted why father isn't used in the Quranic attributes.
To avoid any such connotation that lowers God to a biological, physical level.
Exactly. To preserve the absolute transcendence and uniqueness of Allah.
This depth of understanding is one aspect. What about scientific knowledge?
Ah, yes. This is another area often cited as miraculous. Knowledge revealed 1400 years ago that science only confirmed much later.
Like the Big Bang.
Exactly. The Quran says, "Do not the unbelievers see that the heavens and the earth were joined together as one unit of creation, and we split them asunder?"
Unbelievers, here meaning not just ancient pagans.
Deedat suggests it's aimed at men of science, today's scientists, because who understood the universe began as a single point that then expanded.
Astronomers, physicists, and only relatively recently.
Maybe 50, 60 years ago, the Big Bang Theory really took hold. How could Muhammad, an unlettered man in the desert 14 centuries ago, have known that?
The impossible by natural means. What about the origin of life?
The Quran states, "We made from water every living thing."
Simple statement, profound implications.
Biologists now understand life originated in water, likely seawater. The early Earth was molten, cooled down, water formed, and life emerged from it.
Again, knowledge discovered yesterday in the grand scheme of things.
How could an unlettered desert dweller know that fundamental biological truth?
And there are other fields mentioned too.
Oh, yes. Embryology is a famous one, describing developmental stages with an accuracy only confirmed by modern microscopes. It touches on psychology, even what Deedat calls journalism. It's a miracle from many angles.
Let's touch on the biological pairs example. That's fascinating.
Right. Glory be to him who has created pairs of everything, of that which the earth produces.
Meaning the plant kingdom.
And of yourselves, and of things that you know not. Pairs in everything.
Including plants having sexes. Male and female.
Yes, something only understood relatively recently in botany. Some plants have both. Some are separate, like date palms.
And the story about Muhammad and the date palms.
The Arabs practiced a form of manual pollination, beating the plant. When they stopped once, the crop failed. Muhammad told them to carry on with their practice, acknowledging a natural process they didn't fully grasp scientifically.
And you had a personal experience with this.
Trying to grow papayas, you need both male and female trees for the female to produce fruit with fertile seeds. An unlettered prophet talking about sexual pairs in plants 1400 years ago.
It's just hard to explain conventionally.
Exactly.
Now let's shift focus slightly. The Quran didn't just contain knowledge, it transformed a people.
Dramatically. Thomas Carlyle's description of the pre-Islamic Arabs is brutal.
What did he say?
A poor shepherd people roaming unnoticed in his deserts, but basically ignored by the world.
Human rubbish, he called them, engaged in tribal warfare, marrying stepmothers, burying daughters alive.
The great empires, Alexander, Persia, Rome, they just passed them by. Insignificant.
But then comes Islam, comes the Quran, and what happens?
Within just 1 century.
Yeah.
1 century, this unnoticed people becomes world notable.
Arabia shines from Delhi to Granada. Arts, science, power.
Carlyle saw it clearly. Belief is great, he wrote. Life-giving. He used that amazing metaphor.
The spark falling on sand.
Yes. A spark had fallen on a world of what seemed black and unnoticeable sand. But lo, the sand proves explosive powder, blazes heaven high.
What an image. A complete explosive transformation fueled by belief in this message.
Deedat even quotes a Jewish scholar writing about Arab contributions to medicine.
The ironic description.
Calling them goat herds and camel drivers sitting on the throne of the Caesars, it highlights the sheer improbability of the transformation.
Of points to.
It had to be Allah's work. Proof of what this book, this message can achieve, and the implication is.
It can do it again.
Indeed.
Okay, another angle Deedat uses is the Quran as a miracle of journalism. That sounds intriguing.
It's a clever analogy. Think of a master journalist. What's their goal with a headline, a newspaper placard?
To get everyone to buy it right, regardless of their background or interests.
Exactly. Not just targeting one group, but creating something with universal appeal.
So Muhammad, guided by Allah, is like that master journalist.
Yes. With divine knowledge, omnipotent, omniscient, knowing human nature perfectly, knowing how to
bait you, how to catch you,
Yeah.
how to draw people into the book.
Consider his audience in Medina. Very diverse.
Who was there?
You had mushriks, the polytheists, munafiqs, the hypocrites pretending to be Muslim, actual Muslims, and significant Jewish and Christian communities.
5 distinct groups, potentially hostile to each other or the message. How do you address them all at once?
Look at the beginning of Surah Yasin. It starts with the simple question, has the story of Moses reached you?
Okay, how does that hook everyone?
Think about it. The mushrik might think, oh, a story, this might be amusing. The Christian thinks, what does he know about Moses? The Jew wonders, what's he going to say about our prophet, Musa?
And the Muslim?
Eager for more details, more wisdom from the story.
Wow. One question, and all 5 groups are immediately engaged, listening.
It's brilliant. Everyone is compelled to pay attention. That's master communication.
And then the story unfolds.
Briefly recounting Moses' journey fleeing Egypt, helping the women at the well, marriage, restlessness, looking after sheep.
Leading up to the burning bush.
He sees a fire. What does he want? A burning brand for warmth and guidance, directions to the next settlement. Practical needs.
Allah beats him with his immediate concerns.
And draws him into that profound encounter. O Moses, verily I am thy Lord, therefore in my presence put off thy shoes.
From a simple need for fire and direction to direct divine communication.
That narrative structure, that way of engaging diverse people by addressing universal needs and curiosities while delivering a deep message, that's what Deedat calls the miracle of journalism.
Speaking to everyone, drawing them in. Amazing. So, pulling it all together, the Quran is presented as
an eternal book of guidance, the ultimate solution to the problems of mankind.
But there's a concern, isn't there, about how Muslims themselves engage with it today.
Yes, Deedat expresses this strongly. He uses the analogy of treating the Quran like a cobra on a pile of wealth.
Meaning?
Guarding it, maybe reciting it beautifully, gaining cheap sawab, quick blessings, but not truly opening it, understanding it, implementing its guidance.
There's a kind of selfishness, he points out.
Performing rituals for one's own benefit, maybe, but doing nothing to share the actual message, the solutions, with others, especially non-Muslims.
And he observes a lack of righteous anger, a lost spirit.
Yeah. He says, if someone insults your mother or wife, you'd react fiercely. But when Allah is profoundly misrepresented, like with the begotten son concept,
there's often silence. No deep reaction, showing a disconnect from the core message's importance.
Think about the central cry of Hajj, the talbiyah.
Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Here I am, Allah, at your service.
Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Here I am, you have no partner, here I am. No associates, no partners, no equals, no compares, the absolute unity of God.
A powerful declaration repeated millions of times.
Yet Deedat laments. People return from Hajj to a world filled with shirk associating partners with God. People worshiping everything but the one true God.
Humans, animals, idols, even Satan.
And that core message of talbiyah, of pure monotheism, often gets left behind at the airport, not carried into daily life and interaction.
What's the example to follow then?
Prophet Muhammad himself, after receiving revelation, did he hide away?
No, he went straight to the marketplace.
Right into the thick of society, accosting people, calling them to the one God, even when they called him mad.
That's the best example. Active engagement.
Today, people fear ridicule, maybe, but Deedat says we have modern tools, modern jinns, as he calls them.
TV, radio, internet.
Tools that can spread the message tirelessly. We can use our messages not just for prayer, but as places of invitation.
People might come expecting something exotic, an oriental museum.
Maybe expecting idols or strange rituals, but instead they encounter the pure message of God's unity. These are God-sent opportunities for education.
So the final call for you listening is what?
It's simple. Share what knowledge Allah has given you, even if it's just one fact, one ayah, one insight.
Because by giving, by sharing,
Allah will fill you up with more. It's a divine promise. Don't hoard the knowledge.
So let's leave you with this thought. We've explored how the Quran demonstrably transformed individuals and whole societies. Considering this power, this miracle of miracles, what small spark of knowledge or action inspired by what you've heard today could you ignite in your own life, in your own circle, to create even a small ripple effect?
Thank you for joining us for today's podcast. I hope you've gained some valuable insights. If you're a truth seeker, yearning for divine light and ready to step out of darkness, now is your moment. The truth is that Allah is the one and only creator of the universe. He has sent over 124,000 messengers and prophets to guide humanity, starting with Adam and culminating with the final messenger, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them all. If you resonate with this message, you might be ready to embrace Islam. Simply recite the Shahada, the Islamic declaration of faith. For further support, feel free to join our WhatsApp group. You can send us a private message there. The link is in the video description. Don't wait until it's too late. We look forward to connecting with you soon.